And then the thing hits. I really need to add some sound to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, the Mighty Pong.
And I'm Crux.
And we have a special guest today, and it is...
someone we've never had on the show before.
Yep, first time on the show.
Yeah, first timer Zenifi, that's right, joining us today. And today we're going to talk about the shop and the fact that it is moving, and some of the things behind it, the inner machinations, if you will, of moving a makerspace. So that should be an interesting ride.
And moving in that, it's just not, it's on the planet, and the planet is moving, and therefore, moving. It's just we're getting a new location.
That's true.
That's the planet. Yeah.
That is
technically, everything is moving.
That's a very key distinction. That's true.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that here very shortly. But before we go there, a quick announcement about the shop. We are, of course, located 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in fabulous Henderson, Nevada, for now. But unless you're a member, you're going to have to wait a little bit to come check out the shop because we are closed to the public for now. But we would like to remind you, while we are closed to the public, if you are in a shared space elsewhere, to make sure that you wear your mask and clean tools, surfaces, and material before and after you use them. Stay home as much as possible, don't touch your face, and for Pete's sake, wash your damn hands. To stay updated on the shop's open status, you can check out synshop.org/COVID status to find out the latest information. And to make sure you're notified of future events, including virtual ones just like this one, you can join us at meetup.com/SYN Shop. And with that, here we go. Moving the shop. So for people that aren't entirely familiar with the history of the shop, so on and so forth, the shop actually started out in your garage, right, Crux?
Yeah, originally, SYN Shop started where we wanted to have like a hackerspace, didn't have a name yet. And we started out as a Dorkbot chapter. In fact, I think if you go to dorkbot.org, like they still list SYN Shop LV, even though like we've not been a Dorkbot in like forever and a day. But and that was like me and a friend of mine, and then I got a job working someplace else, and people there were interested in creating a hackerspace as well. And they had actually done some legwork and actually came up with like the name. And that's actually where SYN Shop, the name came from, is people I was working with. Interestingly enough, those people didn't actually join SYN Shop, even though it was their name. But whatever.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And so we were meeting up out of my garage. Essentially, we were meeting in like coffee shops for a while, talking about, we need to start a hackerspace. And me and my roommate at the time went to go get, you can't really see it on camera, but the PDP-11 over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we had visited a bunch of hackerspaces in California while we were out there. So I think we checked out Noise Bridge, Null Space Labs. We went by Crash Space, but no one was there at the time. I don't think we had checked out 23B yet at the time. But and we were just sitting there, having food on the drive back, and I was like, I have a ton of tools in my garage, and I can just kind of reorganize things and make it a bit more usable for people other than myself. And that gives us a place where we can actually meet up, and then hopefully like more people will, show up, because we didn't have any idea of like how big this thing was going to be, or if there was a huge demand or not. We knew that we were interested in it, but we didn't know, Vegas as a whole, if it was interested in it. And so we started doing like a monthly and sometimes weekly meetups out of my garage. and we started. I think we started going to First Friday as well to get like interest. I don't remember if we started that after we got our first space or if it was before, but and then one of our members, Mark, he had bought a new house, and that house had like this big pole barn in the back, and so we kind of forcefully took that over, and so that gave us a bit more space to work out of. Of course, we still had to deal with either not having heat or not having air conditioning being in Vegas, which kind of sucked.
Yeah.
It does get rather cold in the winter, and it does get pretty hot in the summer.
It doesn't really get cold in the winter. Come on. You're a former Michigander. Come on.
It's still cold. I mean, yeah, compared to Michigan, sure.
All right.
Yeah, compared to like the Arctic Circle, yes, it's a balmy, like, below freezing, but
Yeah.
in the high or in the high 20s, low 30s, yeah, as I was saying, yes, one of our members then at the time, he worked for Zappos, and Tony Shea was looking to revitalize the downtown area and was looking for businesses that weren't bars or restaurants for the downtown area. He kind of wanted to make it another like Austin type of thing.
Okay.
And so someone had pitched the idea, oh, well, we should start up one of these, hacker spaces that everyone's talking about. It was like, he raised his hand. It's like, well, we kind of already have a hackerspace and we're looking for a location.
Right.
And so we got our first SYN Shop version 0, I guess is what we called it. And that was the thing on 4th Street, next to the Fremont Street Experience. And we got a ton of people. I think by the time we left there, we were up to around 100 people or so.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was that big at the time.
Yeah, we did drop when we moved the next time. It was still in the 90s, but we lost a few members just because, they were up in Summerlin. They didn't want to drive down to Henderson.
Sure.
So yeah, we were there for 3 years. The initial cost was $1 a month for the first 6 months, and then the cost was supposed to go up from there. So we paid the $6 up front for the first 6 months. We could figure we could afford that.
Sure.
Big spenders.
Right.
And after that, we tried to get a hold of Downtown Project, and we just couldn't get a hold of anyone. And we weren't paying we weren't paying the lease, but we were also not paying electricity or water or anything else. And so we essentially had the place completely free, and that allowed us to just bank up money in membership. So what we didn't spend on tools, we saved. But it eventually got to the point where free was too expensive. So that location, while free, had its issues. So
I was just about to ask why in the world we're not still there. Because I could take people peeing in the entryway for free,
And it sucks. So yeah, you could have drunks that would pee in the entryway or homeless that would pee in the entryway, and then that went downhill into the shop and then underneath the rubber mat that we had there. And so we didn't notice that until I'd been a while and lifted up, and it was not pleasant because that was the one that lifted up the carpet.
That's gross.
The building, only one of the 2 AC units worked, and the only one that worked was the one in the woodworking area. So it would always get clogged up in sawdust, so I had to clean that out multiple times, and that's a awful job. There was a sewage leak under the slab. They replaced the sewer pipe that was not underneath the building, but they didn't want to spend the money to actually fix underneath the slab. So especially in the summer months, you would have where we'd have to have the front and back door open and then just air blowing through the shop to make it livable.
Yeah, lots of.
So there's a number of members that didn't like the downtown area because it they didn't feel exactly safe.
Ah, okay.
And parking is just
parking was an issue. Yeah, it was small. I mean,
small, just awkward encounters, just like outside, like just because there's always people just trying to like, sell you something.
we would get, people that were just crazy, like showing up. Like, as one night I was closing up and someone knocked on the door to, and I said hi and like they seemed normal. I let them in.
Mm-hmm.
And gave him a quick tour, and then slowly began to realize that this person was not right in the head.
Was not right in the head. Okay.
Yeah, he was outright crazy person, and I was alone in the shop with this person.
Uh-huh.
I had to figure out a way of getting him to leave without, risking myself, like, from personal injury or something like that, because I did not know what this person was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, so we would always have to keep the door locked at the downtown location. Now, where we're at now, it's down in Henderson. It's a much nicer area. We haven't locked the door at all when the shop's actually open. And it's never been an issue. I think we had a couple people that would show up, but it's a lot harder barrier to entry to actually get there, because you have to take like an Uber from the strip, and that's like $45 or something ridiculous. And
I have noticed, like, every so often we would get somebody, when we were open to the public, we would get somebody that came in like, hey, y'all unlock iPhones? Like, that would be like a weekly occurrence, if not daily, at the old location. Or can you hack into this Facebook or this ATM machine or other things like that? We're a hackerspace, but we're not really a hacker space.
Not that definition of hacker.
Yeah, not that kind. Yeah.
Not the media's definition of hacker.
Yeah,
exactly. No one's wearing trench coats running through the Best Buy hacking everything.
Yeah, so we've been in our current location for, about 5 years now, because that's what our lease was. And now it's time to find a new location.
So what was the move like from 4th Street to 1075? Like I don't think we had as much equipment. I had only been coming to the shop like 3 months, and that was primarily just working with the podcast that was before Gray Noise, and just barely starting the live stream. So I didn't hang around the shop. Like, I didn't know what the shop did in its full, like...
So we moved everything in a day.
Okay, yeah, that's...
it went way faster than we were expecting. We obviously didn't have as much stuff.
Okay.
But we still had a decent amount of things. Like, we had the shop bot, we had the laser cutter, or the medium-sized laser cutter, the main one that everyone uses right now. We had, think about 3 or 4 3D printers at the time, big bookcases, a whole bunch of lumber that was in the back, table saw, drill press, bandsaw. The big workbench. Actually, we had like 3 or 4 workbenches.
Mm-hmm.
And, all the tables and chairs and all that.
Yeah. Was it just like was it just like members moving?
It was an all hands on deck members, and then I think we also we got Richard had gotten some helpers to help move some of the larger things, but yeah, we didn't have like the mill or really anything that's in metalworking. We didn't have welding.
We didn't have all those lockers.
we didn't have all the lockers. We got a lot more tools in woodworking. We didn't have the pallet racks.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 more laser cutters now, and one of them's a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
We have the industrial sewing machine, but now we have like 2. And plus a few other sewing machines.
I still haven't gotten a chance.
We have a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
probably not gonna be a one-day event.
No.
But if we get enough
if we plan it right, it could probably be done in like a couple days. Maybe the bulk of it in a couple days, and then some other moving of smaller things outside of that. But
yeah, and I think one of the another. I don't really know how I'm going to lead into this part, but when thoughts were going around about what tonight's show was going to be about, I kind of pitched it in a way that it's going to be about the shop moving and the move process, but overall what it's like to move a makerspace. And so we just recently had our board meeting where we discussed and kind of solidified a few more decisions. But we're pretty much starting, like, we have a month, and we have a month until we want to start decommissioning things to prepare for the move, but we're still going to try and keep the facility to a degree operational.
We're actually going to start decommissioning some things this Sunday.
Yeah.
So, like metalworking, that doesn't get heavily used, and some of that equipment is hardwired in. Like the big giant bandsaw and the mill are hardwired in because they're 480 volt. So that needs to be disconnected. We can probably, disconnect stuff in welding as well. Because those are two like least used areas of the shop. They still get used, but not nearly as much as everything else.
Mm-hmm.
The dust collector, that's gonna have to be disconnected because it's 40 volt. Basically all the our electrical stuff like that, is something that we need to get done sooner than later. So
yeah.
So one of the things that we did have to go into fairly recently, well, I mean, I guess we're kind of in I think we've pretty much made up our minds now, but the buying versus renting discussion. So can you go in a little bit into what the pros and cons were of each of those?
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as like with your house. Like if you're renting, that money just goes to the landlord, and you don't really see any returns on it over time.
Yeah.
If you can buy, that's obviously better. Although then you do have a 30-year mortgage or whatever that you. So there's a financial commitment there.
Mm-hmm.
You also have a lot more freedom if you buy versus rent, because if it's yours, then you get to decide, okay, we're going to cut, holes in the roof to put in these vents for the laser cutter and whatnot.
Right.
And, I'm going to choose, my own labor to actually get this done versus, the landlord is, they care about their building because they don't want anything damaged, so they're going to pick the most expensive guy to actually do the job that they can, or it might be someone that they know,
and the guy that's going to get them kickbacks too. Don't forget that. That's important. Yeah.
It was Vegas. So you gain a lot of flexibility. The other problem, and one of the reasons why we haven't renewed the lease where we're at, is just across the valley, all of the lease rates have gone up like significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're paying 61 cents a square foot right now, and that's jumping up to 82 cents, maybe 81 cents, and then up from there. Every year, it's going to go up. So, yeah, it prices you out of being able to afford the amount of space that we have right now. Now, buying, we still have the hurdle of, okay, well, we have to come up with the down payment and make sure that our mortgage is within what we can afford membership-wise, and that there's at least some room to grow, or at least maintain what we have.
Yeah, build out, repairs.
Yeah.
And so, other things though is, and I guess I didn't really learn this with, we kind of learned recently with some of our discussions, is zoning is a pain, especially when there's equipment that we require, not that we necessarily require, but there's equipment that we use that requires itself to have sufficient power or cooling or air, just like stuff like that. And so, I mean, it kind of, I guess it didn't really like shock me, but I assumed it was a lot more flexible out there, but it really isn't.
I've been looking at like what properties are available for lease and for sale for quite a while, and there really's not been a lot that's within our budget. And so, I would put in the search results, and I was like, no, there's like nothing that, it's either something that's really small or it's not usable, or it's in a really bad neighborhood.
There's a reason why it's still on the market.
Yeah.
And like, it was kind of like one property that we were thinking about where there were like, we asked questions about why there was like no fire suppression inside or something like that. Like it said, like, there's just none of that. And like, for one, I didn't even know that those types of buildings could exist.
Yeah.
Especially if they're zoned the way they are. But it's just kind of bizarre how it's like, yeah, you can buy the place, you can move in. It's like, it's all ready to go for you, but you still have to do all these things to actually meet code that you have to put your own money into. And it's like,
right.
Have to think.
Yeah, it was, to get in our current location. I mean, we had to go through a lot of issues with like the fire inspectors and all that to make sure that what we were doing was on board, and that there was sufficient fire suppression especially for like hot works.
Yeah.
Did we get a lot of? Oh, sorry.
No,
okay. No. I was just going to ask if we got a lot of pushback. When you go to any kind of government official or whatever, and they would say, "Wait a minute, you want people to be able to use a table saw? Hold on." Was there a lot of that or no?
Issues we ran into are, if you're doing woodworking, then you have to have some sort of dust collection in place.
Sure.
Just because sawdust is highly flammable, especially like when it's in dispersed into the air.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to have that. We had to have all our ducks in a row on the hot work stuff to make sure that that's why there's all the orange curtain stuff and the way the area is designed the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we run into?
Is that just like general safety stuff wise, or is that?
Well, I mean, there's certainly there's building codes.
So I guess my main question would be: is that something we still are going to have to face?
We'll still have to do that wherever we move. So I mean, whatever we put in place, it's going to have an area that has fire suppression for certain stuff. It's going to, if we put in a hot works area, then it's going to have to meet certain requirements. We have to get it inspected, and because if you don't do that, then you can lose your business license, and then we would be able to operate. So.
I guess I didn't really think, from business license perspective, I guess I was just thinking of like insurance perspective. I mean, I'm sure they care about that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if it was like an insurance thing versus, like you said, business license.
Yeah, I mean, those things also help with insurance.
Yeah.
If you can say, oh yeah, we have these systems in place, then that cuts down on how much you have to pay for insurance significantly. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
more than that, one thing we definitely don't want is someone hearing the welder go off and be like, "Hey, what's that?" and become, have their eyesight damaged. So I mean,
yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of good reasons for having that. So
Yeah, and we actually have quite a bit more of that curtain as well. So
good.
So we could make the area larger if need be. But
Nice. So I did want to ask you something else. Oh, what is it that actually makes us? So we are light industrial, right? And is that
yeah, I mean, we can work in industrial or commercial industrial. So I think it's M or CM are like the two main zoning. The zoning is weird, and I fully don't understand it. I know, like, commercial industrial and industrial are like the two main broad categories that if we're in there, then we're pretty much good. But
what about light manufacturing? What's the difference between?
I don't know what code that is and what that falls under. That might be a sub thing under either industrial or commercial industrial.
Interesting. And so is that based on the kind of equipment that we have in the building?
Stuff we do, noise we produce, etc. The ability to actually get like a business license, essentially, to do the work that we need. So, some of the locations that were for sale were like, oh yeah, this could potentially work, but oh well, no, this is zoned for like medical stuff, so there's no way we could go use that.
Right.
There were locations we looked at, and then there's like, well, no, this was like a preschool beforehand, and this area is really, it's surrounded by residential. There's no way we're gonna want to.
Yeah.
It could possibly be doable, but you would have had to get the okay by everyone that worked around or lived around there. And
yeah, I think that's the one that I went to look at, where there was like 14 neighbors that would have been in earshot.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
How well is our sound suppression right now? I guess I've never been outside.
It's not too bad. If like the dust collector's running and then the roll-up door is open and you're outside, you're going to hear that something's running. But it's not like you're inside the area and it's running. So yeah,
that's good at least. Because then, we're in like a chain set of buildings.
But if you were like next to like a restaurant or whatnot, then that would definitely be an issue. So. I haven't asked our neighbors, and they've never complained about it, of whether the noise that we produce during, when we're working is issue. Although most of our work is after 6 p.m. and they're usually there during the day.
Yeah.
And I know the people on. If you're walking into the shop, the people on our left, they park a semi-truck in there, and it has I think it's a mobile MRI or something like that. It has to have power all the time to keep the system ready. But it's some big industrial medical machine that has to have a lot of cooling and a lot of power, but it's mobile. And then I think the people on the other side make pizza boxes or something. I forget what they do. I haven't talked to them.
We've got a really interesting set of businesses.
Yeah.
And I consider us one of the interesting neighbors too. I mean, they probably had discussions with their friends like, we make pizza boxes with the guys next door. Like, we don't know what they're building there.
And actually, speaking of which, one of the things that we do make is mid-show breaks, actually. And in order to help us keep making those mid-show breaks, oh, no, wait, oh, dang it, this is an even better segue. One of the things that we make is t-shirts, just like this. And if you would like to help out the shop, all you have to do is type merch, just like Crux did, just there. And you yourself can get one of your very own Synshop podcast shirts, just like that. And many, many more things. We've got gigantic mouse pads, all kinds of stuff. And everything that is in that store goes to help the shop. Also, just to restate here what we're talking about, we're talking with Crux and Zenifi, both board members, well, president and board member of the shop, and we're talking about how the SYN Shop is going to be moving soon, and what goes into moving an entire freaking, it's not a data center, makerspace. There we are. And we're back.
Moving a data center sucks too.
I've had to do that before. That's not fun.
Yes, that's no fun at all. I do want to let you know, though, we are live on Twitch right now, and if you'd like to ask us any questions or ask any questions of Crux, anything like that, just go ahead and throw it in the chat, and we will.
Yeah, I also put our donate link.
Absolutely.
Because Synshop, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We serve a lot of education type stuff and help all the members create all the cool things.
That's right.
So to help raise money for the move coming up, we need everything we can get. So
that's right.
You can go to synshop.org/donate. I know a lot of number of my friends that aren't even in the state or members have donated. So thanks to all of them for doing that, and a lot of other members have kicked in money to the kitty. So everyone that has donated or is planning on donating, thanks in it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah. So be sure to go to that synshop.org/donate link, or to go to the merch link that you see there on the screen. And if you're on Twitch, you can also scroll down for that as well. Help us, help you, help us all. Yeah. Also, we
also made an update to our membership level, so there's the option of doing a recurring donation if you're a member, so you can select that level and say, all right, I want to give $20 extra a month or whatever. So,
that's awesome.
And that specific money actually goes towards helping members that can't afford membership otherwise, as far as because we've had to increase the cost over the years. So
that's right.
We recently increased the cost of membership up from $50 to $60. So it's been about 4 years since we had to increase the membership. So that goes with the increased cost of any location that we're going to, whether we buy or lease. And but so the people that can't afford that increase can still be a member. We're asking other members to help kick in. So
very cool. So just real quick here, let me just to put a bow on the mid-show stuff here. We are going to be having a post game today. I don't know if Zen is going to be able to make that. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. If so, we'll see when we get there. If so, awesome. If not, then we'll also have Thomas Tusano from the it's not the Windy City, that's Chicago. From Motor City, there you go. Motor City, Detroit. There you go. And we're going to have him joining us as well.
I'm originally from.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's I've been hearing a lot about Detroit recently, only because I've been watching a Netflix show while playing Ark, and it's an old show that used to be on Disney Channel, and they're based out of Detroit. So.
Nice. Awesome. So earlier we were talking about, and stick around to see that if you're on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, sorry, you're only going to get the first hour, so make sure you catch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/SYN Shop. Okay, that's over. So, our current status. Now, you just mentioned that we did have to raise the rates, and you're recommending that all members go and...
Yeah, we did.
I've actually played there.
Liam, Ohio?
Lima.
Yeah, I mean, I know about Lima. But
I've
pharmacies there that I manage.
not really done. I've not been really to Ohio other than driving through it and probably not stopping.
I'm almost positive I played an outdoor party there once upon a time because lima beans, of course. But okay, so if someone is a member of the shop, what is it that they need to do right now?
We didn't automatically increase people's memberships. We more sent out a message to all the members, as well as on our Discord, asking that they log into their account and then, set their new rate to whatever they want to pay. So, or if they can't, to let us know, to just send an email to building@synshop.org. So we know that if you haven't increased your rate from like one of the earlier rates, that there's a reason behind it, and you just haven't looked at any of the methods that we've used to try to contact you, because a lot of our members are actually really bad at checking their emails or Discord or things like that.
Communication overall.
Yeah, that can be a challenge, even with the board members.
Yeah, even with us. I remember 2 years ago, you had to corner me. You're like, are you actually gonna run for board again, or like, do we have to do something? I was like, oh, I just kept forgetting to respond.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Forge, I've said a number of times, remember that you have a phone, because I'll send her a message, and it's on Signal, and so you can see if someone's actually read it or not. But
right.
It's like nope, it's been delivered, but no, just not looked at it. So.
Womp womp. So what about, like, that's the money part of things, but if someone is a member, like, what should they be doing right now? Like, what does the shop need people to do?
If you have like wood or plastic or tools that you're keeping at the shop, or anything like that, anything that is not shop property that's at the shop, your own personal stuff, you should take home, because a lot of things have gotten marked as being a member, but that member is long gone. So when it comes to move, we're gonna, a lot of the stuff we'll probably throw out because we don't want to have to move it. When you're moving in a hackerspace, that's the optimal time to do a great purge of stuff that's been hanging around and no one's touched in like 5 years.
Yeah, that is going to be the
you remember purge. Moving it the last time. So.
Yeah.
We are getting rid of some of the tools. I think Tony has been putting the list of those up on the whiteboard, so if you're interested in buying some of the tools, that money goes to help out the space, and it also means that we don't have to move that piece of equipment.
I don't know if it'll work if I throw a link in the chat to the picture, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see if this works for everybody. But that was a link to the pictures that one of our members took of it as of right now. So if anybody's interested in buying something like that, especially if you're in the Las Vegas area, then that would be awesome. You should get that.
Mm-hmm.
And help out the shop and whatnot. Speaking of moving, like, I am just the worst when it comes to moving. I am terrible. Like, Zenifi knows. Like, if it wasn't for him, our kitchen would, all the stuff in our kitchen would still be at the old apartment. Like, it was a crisis. Like yeah. I owe that guy a lot.
Okay.
But at any rate, so that was one. So I guess I'm saying that to say this. Like, I noticed that there's a lot of the same. What is it that made the decision to move and where to move to take so long? Was it a lack of spaces? Was it what was the situation with that?
Like, we've been, like I said before, we've been looking for a while.
Yeah.
And there's just there hasn't been stuff within our price range.
Yeah, a mix of like stuff not being in the price range, and then just communicating with our current landlords to try and work out a deal or something. And so that that took a month or two on its own, and in a way, I guess we all want it. It's pretty much consensus that we all want our own building, so we can make those modifications and stuff. But if we were able to buy ourselves more time, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping that the market was the value of like properties and whatnot was going to go down with the whole COVID thing, and that didn't happen at all.
Why in the world didn't it? That's the weirdest thing.
Is the Raiders Stadium or something?
So we were actually hypothesizing about that the other day, and so yeah, you bring up the Raiders Stadium, that might be part of it, but there's apparently going to be a freeway that's being built from Mexico to Canada that's going right through Las Vegas.
What?
Yeah, and so like our current location sits right on that.
Huh.
Oh.
We're like right by the 95. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's why, our current landlord just has no interest in actually lowering our rate.
Yeah, it's more so that they're just trying to get people
Um,
out-ish.
yeah, and businesses like that, they're set up where they can take a loss on a property for a long period of time, and it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. So if it's empty, that's sometimes even more convenient than having to worry about trying to get someone out.
Interesting.
Well, that would explain the area where we're at, but what about other areas like further north or whatever? Because I've been looking for buildings significantly less, but also, as well, I'm finding exactly the same thing that you're finding, which is not a lot of buildings. So why, especially in our price range, so why in the world is it that way all over the place? I get like why ours would, but like
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why. It's just even looking for places that were for lease. There weren't a lot of options. So yeah, you would find things, but invariably they would either be like right by Nellis Air Force Base, which is one really far from everyone except like a few people that live up in that area, and is not the best of neighborhoods. So that's one of our things is, we could find something really cheap in like the worst neighborhoods that are like really hard industrial areas. But we kind of want to have at least somewhat more central and nicer area for our members.
Yeah.
And we might not be able to find that because we're still looking. But if we can, there's a couple that we looked at that are pretty decent. The matter is whether we can get the financing together before those buildings sell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the good news about one of those is that there was like 3 units. So
yeah.
Here's hoping. So I guess.
So
go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, because you guys, both of you, are way better than me and went out into the world to check for properties.
It was scary.
Yeah, physically see
there's bears out there,
and also physically see other people. Like I remember when I went to go pick up my T-shirt from Pong, it was like, oh, it's been like 5 months.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't even actually see you. Like, I don't think I actually spoke to you. I left it outside in a box.
Was
Remember?
Was that? Yeah.
Because you just pulled up and got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't even actually talk to you. I was like, it's here. It's sitting outside.
So you did like a sketchy drug drop,
Kinda.
but it was a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Closing on your house. It's outside, right?
Yep.
That happened like, accidentally
position.
somebody. Yeah.
Dog barks at the moon.
The chocolate mousse is out of season. Yes. Yeah, exactly. We were giving each other code phrases and all that stuff.
So you guys went out. What have you guys mainly been keeping an eye on as far as properties go then? Like physically seeing, like, not just like thinking about the layout and how much stuff we could fit into it. Like obviously you're thinking about like power and location, and I know a big plus, I guess, to the 4th Street move to this current location, 1075, was parking. Has there been anything else on your minds going into these new locations now that we've been in our Synshop version 1? I guess we could call back to version 0, version 1. What's more looking for in version 2? I mean, we've also kind of discussed in our other chats how we don't really mind going a little bit smaller and then just better utilizing the space and the equipment that we have, I guess.
Yeah, especially if we own the building, then there's certain things that we can do to make us be able to use the space a lot more efficiently. So, like, we could build a mezzanine area that is essentially over the office space that we have.
Yeah,
and use that for storage of things that don't get used that often, but would be just in the way otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, storage space definitely is.
Yeah. When we move, we can also, now that we've known how the places worked in like the place we were at before and where we're at now, and so we'll be able to look at like, all right, well, we've did this, and these areas we knew that we weren't using the space as efficiently as we should be. So let's think about trying to rework these spaces so they are more efficient. So.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think the biggest thing that I've been looking at with the spaces, and granted others have definitely looked more at them than I have, but the ones that I have gone to look at, my biggest thing is honestly, how fast/easy is it going to be for us to be able to move in? I mean, yes, we move in once, but we're going to be there forever, so I get that. But like, one of the biggest things for me is like, how much time are we going to need to take to get this to a presentable, not even presentable, to a usable place, right? Because if we can have the perfect space or whatever, but if we've got to knock down walls, or if we've got to do this, that, and the other thing, I can't remember who I was talking to about this the other night, but I remember, when we needed to paint a wall, like how long that took.
It took us a while to get that wall painted.
It did. So it's like, when you put that in perspective, and I'm certainly not, that's not a dig on anybody. Whenever you're in a large group of people who are all creative, everyone's going to have their input and their ideas and all this. So
what color to paint the bike shed problem?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, we just need the damn bike shed paint.
I think we had like 12 swatches just taped around the whole area. For months. I think for like 2 or 3 board meetings in a row is definitely. I mean, most of us agree on this swatch, but then well, what about this one though? It is rough. But so yeah, I mean, I don't, because the stages we're gonna have to go through are what Crux had mentioned is we're gonna be starting Sunday to slowly gather things and power certain things down.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're beginning technically our official move stage, and then we'll come to the 2 however many days it takes to actually move, and then we'll have a couple days where we're in there but we're still not operational to any degree, and then we'll have a soft opening operational status, and then who knows how long it's gonna be until we have like full operational status.
Yeah, and then to make things all the more fun, we still have a pandemic going on.
Yeah. That couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah.
So
that's just dandy.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that I did want to...
At least we're not on fire. So
yeah.
That's good.
You're going to jinx it. We're going to end up being on fire. California's right next door. We could totally catch on fire.
Earlier this week, we had really bad air quality here. I was coughing a lot.
It was weird outside, man.
So I park my vehicle in my garage, and so I just like normal routine in the morning. This is on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because Monday it was getting there, but Tuesday was like apex freaking horrible air quality. Like some parts of the cities were above 400 AQI. While like the Henderson Airport area that I work in, and most of us are in that area. I think we were in like the 150 to 200s, which is not good, really not good. Wow. And so I went from not knowing like at all, just waking up like a normal work day, to like opening my garage, already listening to my music because, I turn on the car because why not fill it with, carbon dioxide and other crap from the car. But so I turned it on, started listening to my music, open the garage,
take
and
a little nap.
Like, no, freaking orange everything, and I'm just like, what is going on out here? And I'm like, okay, well, make sure, Luke, not right now, Luke. Make sure the cabin air filter is on and everything like that. But when I got to work, I put on my mask right away to walk in on that day because I'm like, I don't know what I'm breathing in out there.
Yeah. A forest.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And after that day, once we had our big windy day, which was either Tuesday night, Wednesday, I think it was, and I saw that the air was much cleaner, I changed my cabin air filter in my car just because I'm like, I have like, 6 on one of the racks in my garage just because I bulked up on them, but I'm like, I drive every day to work. It's about 16 miles away from work. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, that's a lot of time for my car to suck in a bunch of crap, and I didn't want it to just sit there forever now.
Yeah, so how has that whole thing impacted the move? Like, I know space, finding space has been, kind of weird. Like, cause...
I mean, it's going to be a labor issue, I think, because you can't have a huge number of people all closely clustered together to do the work. So
yeah,
I think just because of that, it's going to take more time because when there's going to be less people that either are able to go out because they're at risk or whatever, or we just don't want a huge number of people there.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to start. Yeah, and because like this whole show idea again was like the idea was just in case in the future other maker spaces that are facing a moving predicament happen to stumble upon this video. Yeah. Something else that we
hopefully not a pandemic.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Do not recommend.
Yeah. That'll help tremendously.
Yeah.
But next up is we decided at our last board meeting that we're going to have multiple weekly like progress updates.
Yeah. So they're doing a meeting every Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30, and it's not a long meeting. It's just kind of touch base and see where we're at, see what needs to get done in the next couple days.
And I imagine in these meetings as we get closer to like actual like physical move, because we don't know if that's going to be by the end of the month or whatnot. We have to do some things around the shop just to prep for it. We may be going month to month. We'll see how it goes, but it's going to come a time where our conversations are going to be around how do we, one, move all this stuff, but two, how do we move it safely for all the humans that are going to have to take part? Like, because we need us to do it. We don't have robots from iRobot yet or anything to go, hey, move that.
Yeah, I know for like the mill and probably the ShopBot as well. We're actually getting a lift that can lift those pieces of equipment.
Oh, okay.
So probably like a forklift, and then there's a special type of trailer that lowers down
to kind
for moving that type of stuff. Because that, all those pieces of equipment are really heavy.
Yes.
And so you have to make sure that one, how to move large heavy pieces of equipment, and fortunately we have Tony who knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure that no one is you don't get between yourself and the large piece of equipment something where you can you get either get pinched or crushed.
Yeah, way back then, I used to be a mover. Like I used to just like part-time work for moving companies, or technically it was just one company, but multiple contractors came in and so I'd help them out too. But yeah, some of the stuff that I've had to move, is just a nightmare. Like it's good that we're coordinating, because when I used to do those things, it'd be like, you're going to this address today. Good luck. And you'd get there and be like, they want to move all this marble and this piano, and there's a freaking gun safe upstairs. It's like, and it's just me and two other dudes. And it's just like, we just showed up. We have no idea. So it's
How on earth do you move a gun safe with just two people? I guess
on multiple stories.
Yeah, no, it was multiple stories. Yeah, it was upstairs. That's what I remember turning that corner and seeing that, and it was just me and the other guy, and we're like, oh no, this is not going to go well. Because we have to take it down the stairs that, they're stairs. They go at angles, and it's like, well, they got it up here, but we have to get it down without it, chipping into a corner really hard. Because I think bringing stuff upstairs is much easier than bringing it downstairs. So luckily, we don't have any 2 stories.
Oh God,
we're not dealing with a 2-story building as of right now.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, I think one of the things I've had to move that it was. This was back when like everyone had tube TVs, and I think it was like the largest tube TV you could get. The thing was like massive and heavy as all hell. And I was helping a friend of mine move, and lived in a 3rd-story apartment.
Oh my God!
No elevator.
Oh no!
Moving that was the worst.
How in the hell did he even get it in the place in the first place?
Like I said, when it comes
barely
originally, and getting things moved up and in is a lot easier than moving it like down and out.
Yeah, that's true.
I personally think.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think I told him, I was like, I'm not helping you move that out. I ended up helping him move that out.
Never say never.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So I guess. I'm sorry. You.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I guess basically just to kind of put a bow on it, we're at this weird. We're at the point of this project, and I'm pretty sure that every maker knows this feeling. You start off a project with all this enthusiasm. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do the thing. And I think at this point we're getting to the point where we realize, oh, we've signed up to do this thing. Now you've done it before, so you've got that advantage on me, and plus. As mentioned previously, I am complete crap when it comes to moving. But if you could go back right now to January 2020, knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently in regards to the whole shop move?
Oof.
And you can't just say move to Canada or some country where they've actually got their shit together.
I mean, well, that's you personally. I'm talking in regards to the shop move. Because I'd be gone. There's like 3 different decisions I can tell you right now. My life would be so different.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway,
you would have to include just like January 2020, if we knew a pandemic was coming, I'm sure we would have.
Yeah, we were already looking for locations. It didn't exist then within our price range. So.
Yeah, maybe we would have just
been less picky at the time. I don't know.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really. It's such a hard question to answer because we're in this situation.
Yeah, and it's such a thing that no one could have possibly seen coming. And I mean, by all indications, the bottom was definitely supposed to have fallen out. And I'm still beside myself on. Well, I guess it does make sense, considering like somebody had mentioned some stuff about like taxes and stuff like that earlier. Where people can just hang on to properties. I guess with that being the case, okay, I kind of get it. But still, like, with so many businesses closing up shop for good and all this stuff, I just cannot. It just, like, the dissonance in my brain that things are still so damn expensive. Like,
Yeah, I think also like the type of property that we're looking for, you know, the industrial type, that isn't closing. Like those businesses still are happening.
yeah.
It's like restaurants and stuff like that. That you know, you can for a restaurant property, you can get a deal right now because there's a lot on the market, but you know, we can't operate out of a restaurant type property. So
Yeah.
It's too bad. That would be.
it's a shame too, because there's like a bunch of restaurants that I would go to near here, and they're all closed now. So
Oh, that does suck. Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for the main show, I believe. Again, if you are watching us on Twitch, stay right there. We're going to take a quick break for the post game, but we will be back shortly. If you are watching this on YouTube, first of all, welcome to Saturday, and second of all, this is the end of the road for you if you are on YouTube. But be sure to catch us every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and to catch us live and be able to participate in the conversation and all that stuff. I had another thing. Oh, if you want more information on the shop, including donate links and all that stuff, you can head over to synshop.org, and to donate, it's synshop.org/donate. If you'd like to join our Discord, Crux, how does one join a Discord?
well, we have a convenient link. If you go to synshop.org/Discord, that will get you there, because we don't have enough people backing the Discord server to actually have Discord give you a convenient shortcut. So we made our own.
There you go. Awesome. And let's see, if you want more information on different events that we have, including virtual ones just like this, you can head over to meetup.com/SYN and I think, and also on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have our project stream, in which I will be bringing the 909 back to life for good. Like, I've got the battery holder. I'm going to replace the battery holder, and I'm probably going to get the microscope out, and well, I'm going to try to get the microscope out. We'll see if it actually behaves. But I'm going to get that out, and we're going to look for solder joints that have gone astray and fix those up. But last week, rousing success. The 909, she roared again. So after being silent for over 15 years, I want to say, she's back. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Did you use it on 909 day?
What am I doing with my life? No, I didn't. Damn it.
Such disappointment.
I am disappointed.
Put it on the calendar for next year.
Yeah, I should do that, definitely.
All
right. Well, so until the post game, of course, I am the Mighty Pong.
I'm Crux.
This is Zenifi.
And we'll see you back there in either 10 minutes or 7 days, depending on where you're watching us. So stay right there.
Two
We'll be right
shakes of a
back.
lamb's tail.
What's that?
All right.
Two shakes.
Two shakes of a lamb's tail.
You got it. Be right back.